Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Prez. In this video, we're going to be seeing the comparisons between weapon upgrades and attribute scaling. This is something I was really interested in testing, and since I found a katana I really wanted to use, I figured maybe some of you guys were thinking the same thing. And that's, is it really worth rescaling my entire build for a weapon and upgrading it? Or are some weapons just bad and you can't make them any better? I'm going to answer that at the end of the video, and I'll let you determine that for yourself if you think it's worth it to do this. But you already know what I'm going to say. Just before we get into this, I'm going to please ask that you just tap the like button for me. It takes 5 seconds to do it and it helps me out a lot. But I'm not here to waste you guys' time, so let's get started with this test. So since I genuinely wanted to test this for myself, I can assure you this isn't fake. But since there are probably doubters, you can pause and see the stats and my weapon level before each test. For the first test, I'm going to be doing an unupgraded and slightly bad scaling for this katana. Since I was already a dex build, I had decent scaling but not the best. So simply put, the first test is no weapon upgrades and bad scaling. Let's see how much damage I'm able to do. So with this setup I have right now, I'll be able to get 222 damage for a crit on a backstab, which is honestly horrible. And the damage I'm outputting just isn't nearly enough to get the kill, and it honestly leads me to get killed. Now for each of these tests, I also wanted to see what it would be like if I was using it on a boss. And as you can see on screen, this is honestly just such bad damage as a joke, and I didn't even care to try anymore. So to continue the test, the next step I wanted to do was to see what it was like if I upgraded the weapon. And since most of you are probably going to get a weapon to +9, I went ahead and I upgraded this weapon to +9. Now with the only difference being that I upgraded the weapon, I have the same stats and same talismans and everything is the same. I wanted to see what the same backstab would be like on the same enemy. And this time, I was able to get 690 damage off. Compared to 222, this is a lot more, but it still really isn't that good. It really isn't a viable option at this point in the game. And now it's time for the boss. And this time, as you can see, I'm doing 3 times as much damage per swing. But again, this just isn't viable for a kill, and I don't see the point in continuing the test. And now it's time to do the final piece of the puzzle, and this is what I'm assuming is probably going to be the big game changer and make this weapon a whole lot better. Now this weapon's scaling really isn't the greatest, but it's pretty average scaling for most weapons in this game. This is pretty normal for what you're going to see for typical weapons, but nevertheless, I scaled into what was the best for this weapon and continue the test. And as you can see, I'm using the same gear, same talisman, same everything, but I have different stats now, and I have an upgraded weapon. So now it's time to see what this weapon is like in its full effect. And yeah, to my surprise, it's the exact same. I yet again did 690 on a crit, and maybe on this combo I'm doing slightly more damage, but it's really still the same. And of course, I was gonna go try it on the boss, but yeah, it still just wasn't viable. And yeah, I mean, there really isn't much I can do to make this weapon any better. I have proper scaling for it in my attributes, and I also have a +9. I mean, really, getting it +10 is not going to make a crazy difference. It's not just going to become viable because I upgraded it one more time. And on this attempt, I did get farther on the boss. I got him below 50% health, but that's really just because I was learning the boss's moveset, because this was only like my 4th time doing it. So this just leads me to believe that, honestly, if you want to upgrade a weapon, you got to make sure the weapon has good scaling and is pretty much a meta weapon. This weapon might be pretty good in PvP with the weapon art it has, and the fact that it stacks blood loss, but for PvE, I just wouldn't even try it, which is a pretty big letdown because I went pretty hard into this weapon. I wanted this weapon to be good, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be that way. But finally, I wanted to compare this to my meta build that I came up with, because the build that I came up with was actually insane. If you want to try this out, the link is at the top of the description, and here's what happened. And for the backstab, I was actually able to get double the damage as the other weapon. I was also able to kill the enemy without even having to worry about getting hit by him. And for the boss, I mean, I don't even really think I need to say it, but I'm hammering the boss so hard it got staggered and I could get a crit off. I mean, definitely use weapons that you like, but just because a weapon looks cool doesn't mean you can make it good. This was really just a test for myself to see if I could make a weapon that I like as good as a meta weapon, or at least have it come close. But as you can see, certain weapons in this game will just ridiculously shine over other ones. When it comes to the weapon art and the scaling, it can really shine over other weapons. But yeah guys, I hope you found this video helpful in any way. Please consider leaving me a like on your way out, as it really does take you 5 seconds to do. If you like Elden Ring, consider subscribing to my channel, as my entire channel is covering Elden Ring. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, but other than that, I'm out, bro. Peace.